Man, do I look bad. Hopefully it's the lighting. I don't know. Anyway, who can hear me? Let me know if you're having a problem hearing me. I tried very hard to get out here by 5, live at 5. Greg Mannarino. Well, here I am. You can hear me? Okay, thank you. Uh, okay. Wow, this is really killing me. Hold on a moment. Better? Yeah. Okay, good. This lighting is just awful in here. Anyway, when is the crash, my friend? Let's talk about some of that stuff here. Here's the thing, and I'm going to be honest with all of you. I have no idea when the crash is going to come. This has gone on so much longer than, look, if we've learned one thing from these last 10 years, it's that world central banks can pretty much do anything they want until we hit that wall. All they're doing all they have done is taken an issue and magnified it by like off the Richter scale. That's the truth. Look, we can't borrow our way into prosperity. You know that. We can't print cash out of thin air into oblivion and achieve some kind of utopia. It's just not going to happen here. So you literally have to sit back and say, okay, what's really going on? That's, I think, the best perspective on this entire thing is to try to look at who will benefit and who will suffer in any kind of a situation. Understand, and I know you got this. This market, every aspect of it, is rigged against you, and this goes right up the chain of command to the big wig sitting over here in the White House, and every other stinking, rotten politician. All of them. They're all part of the same disgusting crew. Democrats, Republicans. They're not worth spit. That's the truth. Okay, this is supposed to again be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I don't know about you. I didn't surrender my power to these people, and they think they can rule us. Well, personally, I think that's just nonsense, and I'm not going to let that happen, and neither should you. But understanding where we are here in this cycle, let me talk about that real quick, because I get a series of questions from people every day in my email box, which this is what my eyeballs look like every morning when I open up my email box. But understanding that these markets do run in cycles. Okay, that's number one. Number two, understanding that the system is rigged against you. That's number two. Okay, number three, understanding this is the biggest part of this entire disgusting thing that we're in. The middle class is never allowed allowed to keep the wealth they accumulate. The middle class, I referred to the middle class as the slave class in a recent video that I did. Think about it, okay? The middle class gets, built up, and then sheared. Built up, and then sheared. And every shearing of the middle class is simply a transfer of wealth from one group of people to another group of people. That's it. It goes right up the chain to the 1%ers, 2%ers. That's it. And literally, that's, in my opinion, why the middle class has been allowed to manifest itself. Again, this is a new thing here. A government run by the people and for the people themselves. This concept is not very old, okay? Prior to the United States here and our forefathers, who were a lot smarter than the imbeciles running the country today, before that, people were ruled by kings, and that was it. These were like dictatorships, and we had no say-so. We were the serfs. Then the middle class came about. This is a new thing. And the middle class, unfortunately, is used as a mechanism or a means to an end. That's it. That's what these markets are about. period. That's what all this corporate greed is all about. That's what this housing bubble is all about. We saw it. Look, I don't know about you, but I clearly remember the 2008 meltdown. It was the same scenario, although this one is much, 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 much worse. And that is what makes me believe. Now that we all understand this is a shearing mechanism, fleecing the middle class repeatedly. Let them grow their hair back, shear. Let them grow their hair back, shear. It's the same thing. We're like cattle. All right, we're like freaking cattle. That's what the middle class is. And those that are in power in government, they want you to think, that they're on your side here. Well, look, let's just go back to the last lovely president that we had, Obama. The prince of the middle class. Under that dude, okay, the middle class got decimated, and it's getting decimated here as well. I ran over earlier in my last video, 44% of Americans that were polled, whatever it was, or interviewed, said that they can barely make it today. They're spending more than they're earning. 42% said that they have no retirement savings at all. So this is a boom. This is economic. What is going on here? It's a joke. This is not what it seems. Understand that. Sure, stock market has recovered. Corporate America has gotten richer in a shorter period of time than ever in history. Ever in history. And that mechanism is going to continue. Believe me, even when, and this is going to happen, this fantasyland environment corrects to fair value like it did in 2008, those at the upper end of society, they're going to do just fine. Well, the middle class gets sheared once again. And this time is worse. It's not just about a shearing. The entire system from the top down is going to have to be rewritten. And I don't care which way it's written, which way it resets, or whatever the grand plan is. There's no dog shit plan, let me promise you that. The middle class is going to suffer. The middle class is not going to come out on top of this. Anyone who believes that, and I mean anyone, is not even functioning with a fraction of one brain cell. That's the truth. The middle class always loses. So look, being that we know the middle class is going to lose, period. We always do. And throughout history, without freaking exception, okay, we have to position ourselves in the right spots. And that just goes back to Greg Mannarino, day one, sitting here explaining, bet against the debt, become your own central bank. These markets are fake. I mean, everything that comes out of my mouth, these are like little truths. I don't know, man. Look, what we know absolutely, okay, is that world central banks colluding with their world leaders are going to continue to inflate. So you tell me, where do you want to be? You want to be holding the fiat currency at this particular time? Or do you want to get yourself into hard assets? Look, again, like I explained earlier, markets run in cycles. This is what they do. You got risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off. When you have risk on like this, you need to be looking at the opposite side of that trade. The opposite side is risk off. That means acquiring hard assets. While everyone doesn't want to touch it, it's on freaking sale. And not only is it on sale, I'm talking about gold and silver here, it's being rigged to the nth degree. I mean, like I've covered 5 banks in the last year alone, at least 5 have been caught red-handed rigging the market to make sure the price stays suppressed. Same thing is going on here with the bond market here. Keeping rates suppressed is allowing cash to flow into the stock market. And I explained this to you today. Stocks ended higher today. You know why if you follow my work. Bond market, they were buying up bonds that pushed that 10-year yield just a tiny bit lower. It nudged it, and the dollar got weaker. These both weak dollar, suppressed rates, especially the 10-year, opens up a doorway, cash moves into the stock market. That's it. Now, with regard to the election tomorrow, it's pretty simple. It's very, very simple. We have one way that stocks are going to suffer. One. Two ways that stocks are going to go higher, in my opinion. Wall Street believes, and I believe, that the Democrats are going to get the House. The Senate's going to stay Republican. This is priced in, meaning this is what the market expects. That if that comes about, the stocks will go up. If Republicans keep both the House and the Senate, stocks will go up. If the Democrats take both, I don't believe that's going to happen. Again, I'm not talking partisan anything. I don't give a damn, because this is all a charade. It's a bullshit show for everyone to sit there like this. Oh my God, look what's going on. It's nonsense. It's a distraction. It's a distraction, all right? This country, you know who runs this country. It's run by the banks, period. Banks run the freaking world. That's the truth, okay? So the scenario for stocks to go lower is if Democrats take both the House and the Senate. So so there's a chance here, absolutely. But again, I don't think that's going to happen, because the powers that be will not allow it to happen. Unless they're ready to pull the plug on this market. That's it. And I still believe that they're trying to push more people into the stock market. I mean, the champion of pushing people into the stock market is our current president, who keeps touting this economy. Whenever the stock market goes up, he's out blah, 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 blah on every network you can think about, probably in his bathroom too, while he's wiping his ass. That's the truth, okay? But soon as the market goes down, radio silence. Radio freaking silence. Tell it like it is. All I want is the freaking truth, all right? And that's all you want too, is the truth. I think I'm getting so sick and tired of being lied to. But there's a group of people who are, The Walking Dead, all these zombie shows, it's real. There's a certain percentage of the population that are zombies. They just believe what they're told. They're like programmed. They sit there and they watch the TV. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the truth. And they sit there and they get brainwashed and fist fed and foot fed and every freaking thing else you want to talk about. But look, all you got to know is how to cut through the bullshit, and you'll get it. You'll know exactly what's going on. You do not have to be a freaking rocket scientist. And I love all of you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to ignore all you guys, but I'm just going off here off the deep end. Let me see. Let's see. It's nonsense too. I'm playing the game, so I'm complicit. Do you go to work? Do you have a job? Do you earn fiat currency in any way, shape, or form? You are just as complicit. Maybe you should point your finger at yourself, you imbecile. That's the truth. You have no idea what you're talking about. And you're one of those blah, blah, blah people that are brainwashed. Good. Be like that, because I can promise you, people like you that have no brain cells that are working, you're going to get sheared. Ironically, I'm trying to help you. But anyway, if you want to lay down and be sheared, good. There's going to be that group too that is going to lay down just like everyone else and freaking surrender and get sheared. But most of you that are here are not going to be sheared. I will not allow that to happen. That's why I do this. I don't need to do this crap. I enjoy it. I love all of you. I enjoy being out here. And even when I wake up in the morning and I see my email box, like, you can't believe, it makes me want to come out here and talk more about these markets, because I think I'm really doing a good thing here, trying to let people understand how these things actually work. It's a freak show. It's a freak show of epic proportions. You all believe that? Let me see a show of hands. How many of you out here believe that we are involved in a freak show that, you couldn't even, in your wildest dreams, you couldn't even make this stuff up? You could not make this stuff up if you tried. I'm wearing pants. What do you think? Wearing pants. You guys are funny, man. You guys are so funny with that whole pants thing. Anyway, where's Apple heading? I was a little nervous today, getting close to my strike price. Look, here's the thing with that. I don't even really care. I'll be honest with you. You see how I structured my credit spread? It's right on my website, traderschoice.net. If it gets too close for comfort tomorrow or the next day, I'll just close the position. I have it kind of insured in a way. That's the whole point of a credit spread. You know what I mean? You kind of limit your downside. So even if the trade goes against me, I don't get killed. So that's why I'm explaining to people you need to learn to in this market, in this insane volatile market. You want to get naked, and I'm talking about buying a naked call or a naked put. Sure, you can do that, and you could probably make a lot of money. You can lose a lot too. So learn how to trade credit spreads. It's not so freaking hard. And I post all my positions right there for you. Not that you should copy them, because sometimes I don't put them out till later, but use these as a guide. Okay, what has Greg sold to open? You see the negative. Those are the puts I've sold onto the markets. And that's the important one if you're looking to capitalize on an upward movement of the underlying stock. You understand? Very simple, very straightforward. Anyway, yeah, look, this whole market, just looking at these comments here, it's going to burn. And unfortunately, when the market burns, the CEOs, they're going to be just fine. All of the big people at the top end of the top end of the spectrum are going to be just fine. It's going to be the middle class that gets destroyed. Why? Very simple. The middle class, they're the ones who got investments like a 401k that only make money if the stock market goes up. So when the market burns, like in 2008, who got crushed and who got bailed out? You understand? It's not so hard to really put this into perspective and understand where we are and who's going to get killed, literally, and I mean that, literally killed when this whole thing turns around. It's the truth, and the elite, the real rich people, they're already in position to take advantage of every freaking thing that comes down the pike. You think that they're sitting here, watching the bond market, watching the stock market like you and me are? Oh, no. First of all, they have people doing it for them, and they're in a lot better spots than we are. You and I, we have to wade through this. It's not that easy for guys and girls like you and me, but we can do it, and we will do it. That's the truth. Period. The end. Period. The end. Anyway, look, all I can say is this, people. You can't sit here. Excuse me. You can't sit there and wonder when this is going to happen or exactly how this is going to play out. All right. Because these are the questions I see that I'm getting here, and people email me. You have to be ready. You always have to have the high ground. Always. You can't sit there and just wait for something terrible to befall you or your family. And look, truly, if we end up in a worst case scenario, which it looks like they're driving us into here, that we're being shoved into a wall because we cannot get the truth out of any stinking politician, not just here in the United States, but around the world. Look, the European debt crisis, you remember that? Well, how did they fix it? It's never been fixed. They just piled on more debt. So, everywhere around the world, the people are being lied to, and they're being marched right towards the shearing place, wherever it might be. And unfortunately, most people are going to get sheared. But it goes really beyond that. Way, 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 way beyond that. Again, this is a resource problem. Not that there's enough resources to go around. I always explain this to people, and they get all uppity about it. We all transact in fiat currency. If this fiat currency, which is part of the debt, okay, goes up in smoke here and loses massive amounts of purchasing power, how do we transact? Think about this. We've allowed this perverted, twisted system to, rule our lives. We need to take our lives back, people. And part of doing that is understanding that, number one, you're the government, especially you live here in the United States. You don't need any freak show. And I'm talking freaking freak show, all right? Setting the rules for you, telling you how you should live. No, that's not the way it was supposed to go. But that's what they've twisted it into, because people are zombies and they walk through time and space. They can't even chew gum, walk and chew gum at the same time. They're zombies. You think I'm kidding when I tell you that the zombie apocalypse is real? You think I'm joking? I am not joking. You see my window here? This lovely window? Zombies. They're out there, right there. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm ready for the zombies. You should be ready for them too. Anyway, and look, let's just go over this real quick because it's just too funny. It's just too funny. If you saw the video that I just did at the end of the day, my post-market wrap-up, and I had said specifically in that video, I said, all right, everybody, after the midterms tomorrow, if things are going to get worse, well, I offended some people. Some I know none of you here got offended, but it appears that when I said that, I always seem to offend people. People are too damn sensitive, if you ask me. So when I had said, hey, you know what, people, we're not going to end up in a utopia on Wednesday after the election tomorrow. Oh, Greg, you're completely wrong. Things are going to change. Really? How are they going to change? Let's just say hypothetically, things go the way I believe they will, which means House goes Democratic, Senate stays Republican. You think that's going to make things better? You think things are going to get done in a better way? Or you think these are going to just kind of lock up? Look, and then we got this. President Trump has to get reelected, right? So he's going to start campaigning. And that's what they always do. About 2 years out, they start campaigning. So we're dead. What you see here, that's what you got. Other than things getting completely worse with regard to debts exploding, deficits exploding, nothing's going to get done. So just be prepared for that. All right. Don't have your hopes all over here. I hope I'm not offending anyone here. It doesn't look like I am so far. Do you guys and girls out here, see, you're like the elite as far as I'm concerned, because you understand these things and these concepts, although they may seem simple to you. If you would discuss these things that we're going over with people out there, they would be like dumbfounded. It would be like, I don't know, the invention of like a transporter room from Star Trek or something. They would need, it's just out there. They have no conception. All they know is they get up every day, they go to work, they come home, they pay bills, they eat, they use the crapper, and they exist their life. And that's what they do. They walk through time and space like that. And this is why people are so manipulated, so easily manipulated and pulled in this direction. They got to look towards the TV screen at the Democrats and the Republicans arguing with each other, keeping them divided, not realizing they were all part of the same team. No, we can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. Anyway. Yeah, they live. It's it's the sickest thing. It's so sick. Anyway, all right. Let's see. I'll answer a couple of questions here. I'm so sorry, and I'm running off at the mouth. I have a problem with that. Have you noticed that? We're all nuts, man. It's not just Democrats. Republicans are just as crazy. I don't give a shit, and I'm going to say it right here. Who we don't, they don't run the show. That's a freak show, as you are well aware. They're not pulling the strings anywhere. The policy is being dictated by the Wall Street banks, being dictated by central banks around the world. This is a coordinated effort, and every single world leader, including ours here in the United States, this is what he's doing, right? You see this? Look, this is Powell right here, right? I'm Trump. Let's keep the easy money going. Yeah, let's keep it going. You think that this is not some kind of a scheme that's going on here? More easy money. That's what we need here. Who needs the easy money? Do you need the more easy money? Or does this, if President Trump gets his wish here, okay, which he keeps saying, he wants the Federal Reserve to back up from raising rates, who suffers? You do. Okay. The stock market will keep going up. CEOs will keep getting richer. They get paid in stock. They're loving it. Okay. If you were watching the Confederacy of Dunces over there, they're pulling out CEO after CEO. You know something? President Trump is right. I think the Fed's going too fast. The Fed's being too aggressive. Sure, they're going to say that. Look at the source. But you and me, more than likely, who have an interest-earning account, you're getting robbed. You're getting robbed blind because by interest rates being suppressed, you're not even getting a real rate of return that keeps up with inflation. So yeah, maybe we'll keep President Trump's idea. Why don't we just keep that? For me, I don't give a damn. Okay, I would trade this market and I'll rip its face off so freaking beyond belief. Good, I don't care. Keep the easy money going. President Trump's good for me, good for traders, good for Wall Street banks, bad for everybody else. That's the truth. You don't think anyone out here that the Federal Reserve is colluding with our president like they've been doing for the last decade? The last guy? The last guy. Look, the prince of the middle class. Yeah, well, the middle class had to bail everybody out. Not just QE1, QE2, Operation Twist, and they're still buying bonds right now. Look at the big picture, people. This is a joke. It's an absolute joke, freak show, F show, whatever the hell you want to call it. You know who's getting effed, all right? And it ain't in a good way. That's the truth. Okay. You know what? That's all I want too. I want fair value for everything. That means people get a real rate of return on their interest-earning accounts, just like I just covered here. We don't want these distortions to exist in the markets. We want a fair value. That's all 2008 was. 2008 was the market trying to determine fair value. That's it. The distortions were trying to correct themselves. The market is not being allowed to do its one and only job. The job of the markets is to determine fair value. When you have all world central banks that are artificially suppressing interest rates, think about what I'm saying. They're not allowing the market to determine fair value. So they took the largest part of the market, which is the debt market, artificially suppressed rates for over a decade. And what does that do? It opens that door, cash to flow into the stock market, into risk assets, reinflate a housing bubble. That's all it's done. Nothing. But again, it's a fleecing mechanism, and the Federal Reserve and their respective leader are serial bubble blowers. And who suffers here? The middle class. An economic train wreck. Absolutely. And I'm telling you, people, it's just too much actually to get your head around here, because what are they going to do the next time this melts down? I think this is a deliberate act. I believe they are going to destroy the middle class, wipe it out, go back to a two-tier society like we had for centuries. Haves, have-nots, take everything the middle class can give them, and that's it. Then the new system is going to come about here. We're going to have the slave class, and we're going to have the slave owners again. But unfortunately, look, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. So I'm just not going to say it in a nice way. But the middle class, if you're a member of the middle class, you need to be very, very afraid as to what's going on here. And it doesn't matter what idiotic, asinine retards or retard party is running this country. Don't matter. It's all going to end the same way. All right. There's no saving grace here for anybody. And unfortunately, it's the distorted, twisted brains of the masses that have allowed this thing to manifest itself. That's the truth. It's really the truth. You know what? You're not just a slave. I'm just reading this comment here. Just be the fact that you are smart enough to even understand these concepts proves to me that you're not just a slave. You're smart enough to know that you can turn it around. We can all turn it around. It's up to us, okay? It's not up to the retards that are running this country right now. Every single freaking one of them, all right? Some people are giving some of our leaders here a lot of credit that they do not deserve. But it doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter. You're in there, whatever comes out of them. How many world leaders throughout history have sat on the public stage on a nice podium, promised everything, and millions of people died. Countries have fallen. Okay, how many? We're no exception to that at all. As a matter of fact, I have no doubt in my mind at all that America is in terminal decline. All right, the lies that we're being fist fed, no truths anywhere, and the people buy it. They just sit there and they buy it all. Like, where do I sign? It's incredible. It really is, people. Anyway, look, this has been fun. This has been lovely. But I'm gonna get going, people. I'm gonna see you in the morning, and tomorrow, tomorrow will be just beautiful. But no matter what happens, you know what's all around here, and all around you, little puffs of freaking loveliness. Just remember that, and just look, people. We are all responsible for each other. Okay, understand that. Love each other, care about each other, be charitable, and we all have to do our little part. Okay, think of yourself as a little puff of loveliness sitting over here. Okay, and then think of someone else as another little puff of loveliness over here, and then I'm floating around, and there's all these little puffs. We all got to kind of come together. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, coming together. That's it. Before I lose my mind, I love all of you, and I mean that from the heart. I'll see you in the morning.